Hi everyone, it's Amparo. This is my first video on the channel and I wanted it to be a sketchbook tour. This is my 2019 to 2020 sketchbook. I started it in August 2019 and I just finished it now in late June 2020. I am a hobbyist artist, so by no means is this a professional sketchbook. I just wanted to show my art and what inspires me and my sketches. So I thought it would be really fun to start off this channel with a sketchbook tour. So soon you will be seeing my beautiful hand modeling skills and my sketchbook. So let's move on to that. So for this sketchbook, it was a Canson extra large mixed media sketchbook. It was kind of small, so it fit in like almost every one of my bags, and you can see I decorated it with lots of stickers and stuff. So here we go. So the first drawing in all my sketchbooks is always of like my favorite original character, but I don't really like how this drawing turned out. Even when I drew it, I just didn't like it. So the first page is just some sketches and doodles. Put down some goals, which you'll see at the end of the video. And I was really into Star Trek at the time, so I started making some Star Trek original characters. That's Commander V, Dr. Halliday. And there's Lieutenant Tuyo, Captain Lyris, Ensign Layla, and these characters will pop up a lot. There's my old Fantasy OC Andrea, and then some failed sketch that I just moved on from. Here you see a lot of more doodles. Around this time I was getting into the Dark Crystal on Netflix, so you'll see a lot of drawings of Deet and different sketches, and you'll see some of my OCs there as well. As you can see, I really like pencil sketching. A lot of drawings I do don't get finished or rendered in any way. That's another Deet, some OCs of mine, which I kind of abandoned halfway through. This is a drawing I really love of my Skeksis Sona, which is the messenger. A lot of people were drawing themselves if they were Skeksis, so this is me. And I really like how I did that, and I did that with watercolor colored pencils. So yeah, just some sketches. A lot of times I abandoned pages. I really like that drawing of my OC Serena. She's one of my like fantasy OCs. There's Captain Lyris, and that's another drawing of Ensign Layla, which I really like. And then there's Richie from the It series. So yeah, this is another watercolor drawing of Raskolnikov and Sonia from Crime and Punishment, and here I redrew them because I didn't like how that turned out. So you have them, that's Raskolnikov and Dunya, yes. And then moving on, just some sketches of some, like, just character design, all that kind of stuff. Here we have just some more pencil sketches, there's a lot of them, of like my fantasy OCs, which I was really interested in, but then I kind of abandoned. These are some beautiful drawings done by my friend Eve, who also has social media, which I will put in right here to follow. She posts beautiful art. Here's just some pages of sketches that I didn't like, so I'm just quickly flipping through them. Here are some pink line drawings that I did. You can see Reanimator, Garfield. I really like Jeffrey Combs and Kirby, just all stuff and doodles that I really liked. There's just a page of random sketches. I mean, I'm not really focused in my sketchbook. I just draw whatever doodles come to me, especially during class time, which is what I drew most of these things. Here is some more pink drawings. You see my original character Serena, and then just some other random things. So there's a drawing that I did for my friend Kevin's concept, which is a video game concept. I really dislike this drawing. I thought it came out very weird. You can see me shaking my hand there. There's some of my other OCs and just kind of some cool drawings. I really like that one and that one. That's my OC Andrea. So here is some kind of a cool drawing where I filled it in with color. As you can see, I don't really use a lot of color in these drawings. Then I'm starting to get back into Star Trek a little bit. There's Quark, and this is my OC Ensign Layla. She grows up. Here's an unfinished drawing I did of my OC Basil, my OC Serena. If you guys want to see stuff about them, just leave a comment and I can do a video about them. This is the second drawing I did for my friend Kevin for his video game concept. I really like this one. thought the movement was very good. Here's some fan art of Umjammer Lammy, which again I didn't finish, but that's okay. And here's a small painting, self-portrait I did based on a picture with similar lighting. I really like that, and I think it started to change in my sketchbook where I put more color into my drawings. Here is concepts for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Sona for myself, and I drew myself in the JoJo style. It's pretty fun. And here's me finalizing the drawing concept and like pulling images from Pinterest of fashion and stuff. And there you can see the finished product, which I really like. That's me and my stand, Honky Cat. And I also did a digital version of this, which you will see here. And so then we have, I was getting back into JoJo at that time. So you see like fan art of Naransia and Abba. Moving on, you can see there I detailed what my stand's powers are. The stand's Honky Cat based on the Elton John song. Yeah, it's pretty cute. And then here just some more fan art. There's Abba, and then there's some Middle Gear fan art that I didn't finish. And this was kind of some concept sketches for a Black Panther piece that I turned in as a final for one of my Spanish classes, which I did digitally, which you'll see there. And this is around Christmas time where I got a set of gouache. Here I was just testing out all the colors. Here's a sketch of, that's Natalie Portman at the top and Miss Lauryn Hill at the bottom, both kind of unfinished. The Natalie Portman kind of looks like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan art, but it isn't. And then there's me testing out the gouache with, that's supposed to be Shelley Duvall, but I don't really like how it turned out. I think it's kind of cool though, but I still didn't really have a hang of it. Here's a drawing I did for my friend of his OC Tosca info right here on my friend. Here's some pages I didn't really like. Here's some more experiments with gouache. I really like that drawing. I took the pictures of reference from Pinterest. Yeah, and then just some other doodles. Here I was starting character design on a Cardassian original character for my Star Trek universe, just finalizing things. Then there's just some more fan art of my Star Trek OCs. There's the Cardassian original character, there's Dr. Halliday and Commander V. Commander V's design changes just a lot over the time. There's the bridge crew, which is Commander V, Ensign Layla, and Captain Lyris. I really don't like the paint, I put too much water in it and it came out very gross, so I don't like how that turned out. And here I was starting concept sketches for characters from my film script, so that's Rocio and Facunda, and I did that with watercolor colored pencils, and I really like this drawing of Commander V and Nazca, who's my Cardassian original character who I was working on earlier before. And so here's another watercolor colored pencil drawing of the characters from my script, Rocio and Facunda, which I was doing for a film class, and then there's some drawings of their grandmother. So I really like that top drawing that I did. So next up is when I got some Posca pens for my birthday. So I was just kind of testing them out, and you'll see a lot more color from here on in because it was just so easy to whip out the Poscas and just experiment with them. So yeah, you'll see that. Here's some fan art I did for the Magnus Archives as I was getting into it. So you'll see Elias, Martin, John, and Melanie. I drew Elias a lot. I think he's my favorite character, even though he's like the worst. I just think he's really funny. So there's some more Eliases. Porco Rosso I drew from memory, and then there's Peter Lucas. Next up, I drew some fan art of Daisy, some multiple Daisies, and some Eliases. Here, yeah, I was like listening to the Magnus Archives like 20 episodes a day. It was great. So Melanie, Elias, Melanie, Peter, Martin, just a bunch of the characters. It's just such a fun podcast. Here's some more just experimenting with Poscas, Bazira, Elias, Daisy. Yeah. Here's one of my favorite pages, which is a bunch of studies I did from the movie The Lighthouse, which was one of my favorite movies of 2019. You can see that I did just a bunch of stuff. There's a seagull, there's Robert Pattinson, just some chibis of them, and then like, obviously have to, the King, Willem Dafoe. I did a study of him twice. Here is a gouache painting of the cast of my Star Trek original characters, which is called Star Trek Orlando, and there's just the full cast, Layla, Halliday, Tuyo, and their designs change from here, but I just really like that drawing. Here's some just, I was fooling around with colored pencils. That's Quark from Deep Space Nine, and just some other characters. I think that's supposed to be Kira, but I kind of messed up under Quark. Kira was getting super back into Star Trek. I had kind of taken a pause halfway through the year. There's Garrick, and I think some sort of Wayun. This is a piece that I digitally finished, but it's done with Poscas, and it's of my original character, Ensign Layla, who's an original alien species that I came up with. So I'll post the finished product of that. And this is when digital school started, basically, and I was doing classes and it was so boring, and I got really into Recess, the old kids show, and I just love the designs for the two girls in the main gang, and I kind of like imagined if they went to high school together and started dating, you know. And that's one of my favorite drawings that I did in my sketchbook. I just didn't even want to color it in because I just thought it was so perfect. I think it's probably my favorite drawing. I loved how I did the shoes of them, and yeah. Here's some drawings my brother did next to a self-portrait of me. I think this is probably in April or May, late April, early May. Yeah, just... And then here's a Posca drawing of my original character, Dr. Halliday, and Captain Lyris, who's a Vulcan. Yeah, and just saying silly things. I like this one. I think it's very colorful and fun. Here is a page of drawings that some of them I digitized, like that top one, which I'll post right here. And I have this Posca drawing of Garfield. If you look closely throughout my sketchbook, I draw Garfield a lot. I think he's just such a funny little cat. And then I was just naming my Cardassian OC, which I decided to name them Nazca, you know, just going on Star Trek name generator.com. I also digitized this sketch right here, which I'll also post, and just kind of solidifying what my OCs look like. It's just a fun colored pencil drawing I did with no sketch underneath to see how I could figure it out. Yeah, I'm okay with it. This is some fan art of the Next Generation with Data and his brother Lore, and I wanted it to be very dramatic. That's a self-portrait, and I drew it pretty small, actually. Here's another drawing painting that I never finished with gouache. It's supposed to be of a Leyendecker study, but with my original characters, and you can see that most of what I draw is just my original characters doing different stuff. So yeah. And then I developed this new Andorian original character to be the security chief of the Orlando, and her name is Rexel, and I think it's very fun. I did this with gouache and micron pens. I like those drawings a lot. Here's a gouache, kind of more stylized portrait of Dr. Halliday, and then I kind of drew chibi faces of like all my remaining OCs for them. Lyris, V, Layla, Halliday, Nazca, Rexel, and Tuyo, which are all the current OCs on the Orlando. Then there's some more Halliday. Halliday's probably my favorite, and Rexel. I didn't color this, I just colored Rexel in. And here's probably the last thing I did, which is just some fan art of Yentl, which I watched, which I was like, oh, this would be so much better if it was gay. And then just some online drawings of Data, Geordi, and Layla. And then here, you can't really see it that well, but they're just thumbnails for an upcoming comic. And then at the end, I'm just trying to develop a new OC for my Star Trek original characters, who's a Trill. That's as far as I know. And then the last few pages are blank, and of course there have just some sketches of doodles that I just fill in the back page. So yeah, that was pretty much it. And in the first page, you'll see I wrote down some goals that I wanted to fulfill. So my goals were what? They were like more full color, more poses, more studies. I think I did a lot better with full color because I used to not do that at all in my sketchbooks, even though it doesn't even seem like it, but I definitely could do a lot more studies and some more poses, I feel. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, even though I don't really post much, but we'll see. And if this does well, I'll, put up some more videos. So yeah, thanks for watching. That was my sketchbook, and I'll see you guys later.